They tell us not to record these videos in the front-facing camera because we can't help but to look at ourselves. And look, y'all, I am choosing to do it anyway because I need to get this video out. I talked about going on this 30 days before 30 journey. It has been a journey, to say the least. I have lost and gained and lost and gained and cried and cried and laughed and laughed. And as I was sharing earlier, my Instagram was deleted, and it was like a sigh of relief, like, yo, I really get to be myself. I have a text group, which I typically text every single day, and I have not done that. And it was just like all the responsibilities, all the obligatory experiences that I've always felt had been washed away, and these legit 30 days were about me. So in this video, I had two social that I just wanted to write about what my 30 days look like. There's so many things I learned that I absolutely want to share. The quote is, "You're a master, or you're a jack of all trades and a master of none." But no one ever finishes the quote, and the last part of the quote is, but better than a master of none. So what is it, right? You're a jack of all trades and a master of none, but often better than a master of one. So that means, because no one ever finishes, I grew up believing that I was not good enough, that my big ideas and my big brain and all the dreams that I had were just too big to get done, too big to accomplish. And I'm bringing this up because this was a part of my 30 days of me, my last 30 days of being in my second decade of life, or my third decade of life, but from the 20 to 30 period. And 20 to 30, my God, 20 to 30 was a road trip. And so let's talk about it. When I was 20, I got my first boyfriend. I lost my virginity, and I received a scholarship to study abroad in Ghana, West Africa. And so that was like a significant experience, a significant year. I also transferred out of my HBCU into a PWI, thinking like, yo, life is gonna be so much better if I, go to a PWI, because I graduated from a predominantly white high school and was like one of the only Black students. So that was a traumatizing experience. We'll save that for another video. And at age 21, wow, we're just gonna go through my 10 years of my decade. 21, I gave birth to my first daughter that year. I had my car accident where I lost my cognitive skills, short-term memory. 22, I got married on the 22nd day of July. 23, what happened at 23? 23, that was what, 2015? That was one of the best years. That was one of my best adult years of my 20s. I think that might have been my only good year in my 20s, honestly. Because my marriage was healthy. We were consistent in marriage counseling. My daughter was good. I was working. My career was flourishing as a cosmetologist. 23 was a good year. My ex-husband and I were learning to coexist. We were supportive of each other. It was just a really good, solid year. And I went back to school I went back to school. I went back to school at 23. Yes, that was 2015. So that fall, was it that fall? Yeah. Yeah, it was that fall. Fall 2015, I went back to school. Yep, because I ran for class president as a mother and a wife, right? I was 23 years old, so I'm like, oh, I'm older than you kids. Like, shut the fuck up, right? Just shut the fuck up. 16, yes, because I was gonna finish school that December. So okay, yep, 24. I went back to school. When did I have Ava? Y'all, I'm like, my brain, I'm like, is this what happens when you get older? Like, you start forgetting shit? Okay, so 23, I go back to school and I major in business management and accounting. 24, I am pregnant with my second child, my middle baby, and what happens that year? That year was tumultuous. It was tumultuous. I think that was the most domestic, violence-filled year out of the previous years. Like, it was just heavy in domestic violence. Like, and it was really bad. While I was in school, I was working, I was taking care of the household. I was doing my best to be a wife, but we're not gonna get into that. At 25, 2017, that was the start of where I am right now. And so at 25, I was experiencing postpartum depression. I had really bad anxiety. I was still experiencing heavy domestic violence at home, both of us. Like, it was just not a healthy environment for either one of us. And however, I still kept going. 2017, I kept going to therapy for myself. At 25, that year was wild. 2017 was wild for me. My 25th birthday, right? Another critical birthday. I was met with domestic violence. Shit, it was a wild birthday. It's like, damn, I'm thinking about all my like critical birthdays or my birthdays in my 20s. I think every single one of my birthdays during my 20s has been not so exciting, to say the least. And yep, okay, so 25, my goddaughter passes away. She's like, that's another video, right? You guys could watch another video. I lost my goddaughter, and at 25, I learned that I was 6, pregnant with our third child, and I decided to leave my marriage. And I gave birth at 26. 3 weeks after I turned 26, I gave birth. I went through the entire pregnancy by myself. And I'll get into that particular year in another video, but right now I'm just going through each year. So that was 26, 27. What happened at 27? 27 is when I really started getting jiggy in my career, and things started looking up, going good. 28. Dang, my shit moved fast. Damn, my career was like going good. Like, I was already in my career at 25, but 27, like, I was like, can't tell me nothing. 28, start of the pandemic, and dang, yo, that's wild. Yeah, 28, 2020, I left corporate, I bought a home, and I was doing my own like business shit, like, you know what I'm saying? 29, oh my gosh, 29. Oh, 29, that was last year. So yeah, my 29th year, at this time I was going through, I had another relationship, that was like my second serious relationship in my life, because my ex-husband was my first boyfriend. That was like my first relationship, and then this was my second relationship, and that ended tragically, and like just tragically, which is a whole nother video in itself too. And now here I am at 30. Here I am at 30. Damn. Because when you get into the details of it, and I was sharing a bit of my story with someone yesterday actually, and she was like, dang, yo, looking at you, and it's one of the beautiful women that I skate with, and she was like, yo, looking at you, I would have never got that from you. I would have never got those experiences that you shared with me from you. I would have, you know, because people read energy, people be like, oh, that person must have went through that, or that person must have experienced that. And it's not even that I'm hiding anything, because I'm not. I've literally just healed through all of my shit. I literally have just chosen to become a better Amber. I literally have decided that I want my life to look and feel a certain way. And so every like life experience that I've had, I literally have allowed myself to experience. And so the rest of what she said was, you're so humble about it. Like, you're so humble about it, you know, because there are times, right, where we go from victims to victorious, and you know, there's an arrogance sometimes that comes with it. There's an arrogance that comes with it, and it's like, yo, I went through this, so y'all can't talk to me like that. Like, yo, I've been there, done that, because you don't know what I've been through. Do you know who I am, etc., etc. Now, don't get me wrong, Rich Book absolutely be like, yo, do you know who I am? But Rich Book is also like, I know who I am. And because I know who I am, I don't need the affirmation of anyone else to tell me who I am, to affirm what I've been through, to affirm this life experience. I don't need any of that, because I know exactly who I am. And so that was really humbling to me, or for me. So yes, that was my decade in a nutshell. And let me know if y'all want to know, like, if you're like, yo, can you go into that year? Like, can you talk about that year a little bit more? And so I'm not going to say on video, like, yo, I'm about to make a video for each year, because I don't know if I'm going to do that. Because I said I was going to make a video every week for this experience. And I already know each day I'm one of the lessons that I would share is, don't follow someone because you think they know. Don't follow someone because you think they know. You have to know. And a lot of the times where I had got myself caught up was because I was following people because I believed that they know, instead of me knowing that I know and also knowing that they know. So this is what the example, right? Growing up, letting the blind lead the blind. This right here, baby, is absolutely key, and one of the critical lessons for me. People have the right to no longer be your friend or to be associated with you. And you have the right to accept the moments of time and move forward in peace. I have lost one of two, I'm gonna say three people that I loved very deeply. They are not dead, y'all. They are living their best lives, which I am so grateful for them that they are. I have lost three people that I loved very deeply. One was just a family member. One was a really great friend, and then the third was a love, like that wild ass breakup, right? Traumatic breakup, but and nobody ever talks about grieving people who are still living. No one ever talks about grieving people that you will cross paths with again by way of Facebook memories popping up, your phone memories popping up, mutual friends and mutual circles, crossing paths in that type of capacity. Nobody talks about grieving, and it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes we look for explanations, and we look for affirmative statements, and we look to control and hold tightly to the things that we love, when oftentimes, in order for us to grow, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to let go and to allow those people, places, things, situations, and experiences to just be. And so maybe I'll go into another video about grief and grieving living, like grieving the living. Like, that shit is real. If you have money, take care of your assets, pay your bills. Y'all, I cannot tell you how many times I have money sitting in the bank and I just don't pay my shit. That's the stupidest shit you could ever do. However, let me explain. When you have grown up in a lack experience, if your parents have ever said to you, does money grow on cheese, or do you have money for that? And oftentimes you don't, as a child, you don't understand the responsibility of money, but you do understand that if you don't have money, you don't get to do the things that you want, which is true. In this case, because we are living in an abundant lifestyle, we learn that abundance means that you do pay your bills. You pay your bills understanding that you have money left over to do everything that it is that you so desire to. Talking about people and talking about a situation is not the same. Talking about people leads to gossiping, period. It's it's judgmental, it's subjective, and quite frankly, it's none of your motherfucking business, right? It's none of your business, right? You're exerting energy on a topic of a person that is not going to move you forward. Versus two, talking about a situation that has directly impacted you is completely different. And it's okay. And sometimes those lines there are blurred. But absolutely, talking about a situation is important. And because those lines are blurred, sometimes we don't want to talk about situations because we feel like we might be talking about people. But we're not. If something is impacting you emotionally or mentally, and you have a safe space and people to talk to and to just seek their solicited objective insight, do that. Please, by all means, absolutely freaking do that. What you experience isn't just for you. It's a shared experience. This right here was like, I cried when I wrote this, like, because I was writing out different points that I may have experienced. And this one was, it was hard. And this quote that someone said to me was, because I watched you handle that experience with grace, it inspired me to do the same. So here's the thing. We never know who is watching us. And one thing I do want to let you know is that everything that you're experiencing is never just for you. It's part of your life purpose and your life experience. Whether that means you meet somebody at random and they just happen to be experiencing something that you've experienced, that is for them. It is okay to ask for and receive help. One of my best friends, my house was a mess at one point during this 30 days because it was just a mess. It was just a mess. Like, I needed to clean it, and I just did, and it was just a mess. And I asked one of my best friends, I was like, can you help me clean? Like, do you mind helping me? And she was like, yeah. And the anxiety that I had around asking for help was so great. And I was sharing with one of my friends yesterday is because oftentimes when we ask for help and it's delivered, we have this obligatory like response where it's like, oh my God, if this person did this for me, I'm gonna have to do that for them, and that is not friendship. That is a transaction. In friendship, it is okay to ask for and to receive help of any kind. And so this video has gotten kind of long, so I'm gonna have a part 2, and I promise I'm gonna put out part 2. I will put out part 2, promise. It's coming, and I'll promise I'll record it just like this, so we're obligated to it. And the last point that I want to share in this video is my children and children, your children, little children, nieces, nephews, people around, children, want to experience love as much as I want to experience love. And so being a solo mama has been the bulk of my 20s. And there are so many lessons that I have learned. There are so many programs from my childhood that I've had to unlearn and rewrite, as well as recreate my own narrative as what I desire my life to look like. And as much as I desire to love a partner and be loved by my divine partner, my children desire that love for me too. And people always laugh. I'll be like, oh my God, Mom. And when I do go out and like my friends are watching my girls, they're always like, do you know how many times your kids ask me where you at and what you doing and where you coming home? Y'all, I can legit just be standing there and my girls will be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm standing here. And they like, I just love you so much. I'm like, you just love how I stand here? They say, yes, I just love how you stand here. So those were the first 7. I put 2 up. I don't know how y'all looking at this, but those were the first 7 lessons that I wanted to share from my decade, and I will create another video with the rest. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.